Experience France at the French Treaty. Today we're in a world that's away from Bangalore. It just feels like another planet. And we're at a cafe that is nestled in a quaint corner in the world of Jinvara. We're at the French Treaty, where they bring together a spread that is truly back from France. This is headed by Chef Shivroop, who's here with an immense qualification in patisserie work. It's a great place to have some good breakfast, good pastries, good bakery stuff that's selling out here. We've had the privilege to visit the kitchen and see behind the scenes at the French Treaty, so let's go inside and see what they're up to. It's a Sunday morning, it's just 8:45. The kitchen's like super busy because they're doing all the prep before the service. At 9 a.m., it gets super busy because it's Sunday, it's weekend, everybody wants to have breakfast here. Let's just go see what prep work they're doing. The French Treaty was started by two women entrepreneurs, Chef Shivroop and Deeksha. Their friendship was the grounding foundation to this beautiful place. They share a bond like no other, and they've seen all the roller coaster rides of ups and downs of life together. Hear it from them, the story of the French Treaty. We're here with the masterminds behind the French Treaty with Chef Shivroop and Deeksha. I want you guys to hear the story of this beautiful place right from them. So let's chat with them and find out what it took to get here. So I want you all to tell me what it took to get here. I know both of you share this space and it's a journey that you all have been through. Can one of you all maybe tell us in your own words where it all started?
This is a story of two friends, two neighbors, and one of them being the heart and soul of it. So Shivroop and I, we are neighbors. And then Shivroop went to France, and we were also excited.
Super excited. Deeksha was super excited.
Yeah. Oh my God. She. I think it was. We were also invested in her journey as a pastry chef.
Wow.
And and you must tell them how France
So you learn a lot of your pastry work from France?
Yes, so though I've been trained in Lavon, and which was great, which is the best, you can get. I feel not just in India, of course, it's world-class training you get. And of course, I then worked with Chef Amil and then went to France. So over there, I learned, what is pastry about. So what I feel that over here in India, mostly pastry is about sugar. Sugar is what hits you the first thing. Yeah. So what I learned over there is that sugar should just round the dish. First you should get the flavors, and sugar should be like a catalyst like salt.
Right.
So, and then of course another thing I learned is that pastry shouldn't look like an art.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like, it's too pretty to eat.
Yeah, it's not just about the looks.
Yeah, it should be, I want people to be like, I want to eat that. Like, you know, my
Right.
mouth is salivating. I want to eat that.
Appetizing.
It should look like that.
Right.
So that I learned, and I came back, and you know, me and Deeksha would go for these walks, and I would keep explaining her, you know, Deeksha, the chocolate is like that. That is how they do. That is what, you know. We would keep talking over our
talking.
walks, and then
Yeah, and then I would tell Shivroop all the time that, you know, wherever you open this cafe, it's supposed to be exclusive. It's supposed to be in this lovely location. Let's open it in the middle of a field, you know. I'm sure people will come. I swear, I mean, I remember.
I think you're almost there.
We
Like,
did.
this is
Like,
such a green
it's
place.
it is just
just that.
manifestation.
It's just-
Yeah.
Totally.
It's absolute manifestation, and
Yeah.
and we're so excited. And when Shivroop began the journey of, you know, working on a space for herself and also the branding of it, I
Yeah.
think it was so exciting. And
Coincidentally, when we had to choose a name, I remember me, my husband, and Deeksha was there. That
Yeah,
time we
that's
had not
right.
decided that we are going to work this out
Out,
together.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And we were thinking about the name. We were like, okay, it's French. What?
What
And
French?
the word, actually, the treaty word has been given to us by Deeksha. I remember standing in the kitchen.
We were in the
And we're like,
kitchen.
okay, let's call it the French treaty. Like, you
Oh,
know,
wow.
a treaty between Bangalore and France.
France.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So I remember that happened
And it
coincidentally.
stuck, and we were in the kitchen, and we were like, the French treaty, and they were like, the TFT, and it sounded so right. And
yeah, it
Yeah.
was like, oh
yeah,
wow.
yeah. So it was lovely. It was, and I was so excited, like for them when they were
Soup,
just getting,
yeah.
it was so exciting. And but you know, they were so, I mean, so lovely that they asked us to join them, and
Yeah.
No, it was meant to be. So I
Yeah.
feel that the French treaty is not just about food. It's a lot about, you know, the friendship and love we share with each other.
But I feel like, you know, as much as we're raving about the food and the space at Jinvara, for me, what has honestly also stood out is the journey that both of y'all have taken together. I know I've spent a good 2 days here, and y'all keep juggling between your few months old babies
Oh, yes.
and, you know, work. And that for me has been so enriching to just
Oh.
see how you toggle between the two. And if I really wish I could show our viewers visuals of how you actually toggle between your babies and the restaurant. But what I've realized is there's so much hustle that actually goes on. Like, I was here at the busy hours of your service where it was crazy. There were people waiting. And no matter how busy y'all were, y'all greeted your guests with a smile. And I'm like, how do y'all switch from ye karo, wo karo to hello, good morning, how can we help you? And it's like, it's amazing. I really, really appreciate what you guys are bringing
That's
to the
all,
table.
Deeksha.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
Deeksha
much.
and Shivroop, for your time. This has been a very enriching experience to just watch y'all work, but also been so great to talk with y'all. Y'all have given so much time for this video. So I really hope everybody watches this and comes to the French treaty to dine and live the slow life.
thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
thank
you
I'm
so
so
much.
happy you were here,
Yeah.
Vinutha.
To give us the opportunity to actually, you know, talk about
about,
it, listen
yeah,
to
our
us.
story.
It's our,
Listen to us.
We're
Yeah.
honored. We're honored to do this.
I mean, we're so grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Hey guys, so we're here at our table. It's a beautiful setting. It's a beautiful morning. The sun is out. It's shining bright. The vibe here at the French treaty is absolutely blissful. It's breezy. There's soft, beautiful music. And we have our first dish to taste, which is a hearty, soulful, light French toast. So this one's interesting because it's made with brioche bread. So it's a generous, thick portion, a thick slice of the brioche bread that is tossed with butter and coated with egg whites and, you know, pan-seared, pan-fried. And they've topped it off. You can see here with some sliced strawberries, mulberries. But what's interesting with this one for me is the rhubarb that's at the bottom of all of it. It is a great, great, great texture. They also have some raspberry jam drops all around. So it's a beautifully curated one. The highlight for me is rhubarb, but also there's one more ingredient that's a highlight, which is their cream that they use. So we're just about to dig into this, and my favorite ingredient on this one is the vanilla chantilly cream, which is imported from France, and it's a beautiful cream. This is the one you'll very often see is used in hot chocolate in France, but this one's beautifully dolloped on this French toast. Let's dig into it and see how it tastes. That is so perfect. You have the really soft buttered bread. The toast, it's beautifully buttery and soft and airy. And then you get a hit of that cream, the rhubarb, and then you break into those mulberries and strawberries. So there's that hit of refreshing fruit. And then you get a bit of the raspberry jam. It's a beautiful amalgamation of flavors. It's very simple, very light, very refreshing because they've used the chantilly cream. It's not heavy on the palate at all. And because of the brioche bread, the quality of the ingredients makes you feel very light. This is not at all a heavy French toast, guys. So you highly, highly, highly have to have this rhubarb and raspberry French toast. This French toast is the perfect balance between the creaminess, the tartness, and the freshness that all the elements bring together with it. The chantilly cream, as I believe, is a whipped cream, dates back centuries from France. And what I like about this cream is that it's much lighter than the typical whipped cream that we are used to. After the sweet explosion of flavors in the mouth with the French toast, we have something savory to try. We have the savory Paris breast, or what is called as a bagel otherwise in America. Now, what sets this apart from the typical bagel that we are used to is that instead of the typical bagel, this is a choux pastry. So it's a beautiful choux that's filled with herbed cheese cream, cucumber, and radish. I can see like a good sprinkling of black sesame seeds on top. There's a lot of usage of dill leaves that's gone into the herb cheese. So yeah, super excited to try this savory and see how it tastes. Considering I'm a big fan of bagels in general, excited to see how this one's going to taste. What you will see is the beautiful work of the choux. You can see those pretty cracks on top, a crunchy crust. It's actually baked pretty well from the looks of it. Digging into it, guys. That's so good. I think the theme that's running so far with this course of meal is that everything's light. Now, what the choux does to this particular dish is that it makes it very light. A typical bagel can be quite heavy because it's boiled and baked, and even if it's soft, it can be very filling. But here the choux pastry is so light, just like how it's supposed to be. It makes the whole plate absolutely heavenly on the palate. Kudos to the chef for thinking of this. So yeah, I think her touch of French to this dish has made it such a pleasant experience so far. So when you bite into this bagel, you're first hit with the soft textures of the choux pastry. But what I immediately taste is that cream cheese. It's beautiful and light and soft. And then you get that refreshing taste of cucumber. It just adds a whole new, flavor layer to this dish. And you can also taste that black sesame seeds and dill come through as you savor a bite of this dish. It's a beautiful dish. Very simple elements, very few elements that are coming together to create a flavor bomb. The next dish we have here, it's not a dish as such, it's actually a dessert. This one, I understand from the chef, is one of the most authentic desserts you can find here at the French Treaty. This is a strawberry tart that has whole strawberries that go into the tart. So it starts off with a layer of that pastry, the tart pastry. There's then a layer of almond puree. There's a beautiful custard, some fresh plump strawberries, some strawberry compote that goes in the center, topped up with that chantilly cream. I'm super excited to dive into this one. Let's see how it goes. The highlight of this dessert for me is the custard and the strawberries coming together. It's a beautiful, rich, silky texture of that custard with that tart strawberries, fresh strawberries. It's such a beautiful amalgamation, and then you're hit by that smooth chantilly cream. But also the work on the pastry is commendable. You can tell that the chef has had years of experience working on French desserts, and the work is truly seen here. And I love how the whole tart has a beautiful glaze around it, just like how I've seen in a zillion videos of pastries from the France. Beautiful work. Highly recommend you try this one, just because also that this has to be as authentic as it is back from France. So if you want to try and taste true French desserts, then this one's the one to go with. So what we have next, I can say, is my most favorite dish of everything that I've eaten here, because this one's a Black Forest crepe, and I'm a huge fan of chocolate in general. So anything that has a lot of chocolate is already a big thumbs up for me. But as the name promises, Black Forest, this one has chocolate crepes that has a generous filling of that vanilla chantilly cream, but also beautiful cherries, mashed into the stuffing of these crepes. And it's also topped off with a generous plump strawberry and mulberry fruits that adds to the tartness and freshness of the overall dish. But the highlight for me on this one is that combination of the chantilly cream and the cherries. And one other thing that is very different about this dish is the syrup that goes on top. I'm already salivating talking about this. It's their hot chocolate. So the syrup that's poured on top of the crepe is hot chocolate. I've never had something like this, hot chocolate on your crepe. Trust me, it takes this dish to a whole other level. I can't wait to dive into this one, guys. Highly, highly recommend this. My most favorite dish has to be here. I wiped this off the last time I was here. I ate the whole dish, and my mouth's just watering so much as I dive into this one. So I've got a bit of the crepe, the cream, the cherry compote, and the hot chocolate here. Absolute divine. The moment you put it in your mouth, it's first the cream and the cherry that hits your tongue. And then you have a taste of the crepe and the hot chocolate. It's such a beautiful journey of simple flavors put together. It's again very light, and that seems to be how all the dishes here are made at the French Treaty. I think this one for me, maybe I'm biased because it has chocolate in it, but the hot chocolate is so good. I can't stop raving about this dish. Probably one of the best dishes I've eaten in a very long time. Beautiful. So the crepes are thin pancakes, as you guys know it, but it has a rich history to it. It originated in a place called Brittany in France and dates back almost to the 12th century. But I think it gained popularity across the country of France by the 18th century, and they consider this to be a very versatile dish because you can make it with so many different fillings, be it savory or sweet. And the chantilly cream also got popular about in the 18th century. And the chantilly cream gets its name from a very popular palace in France called Château de Chantilly. So a lot of history goes into the ingredients or the elements that comes into this dish. Before we move on to the last dish of this treat fest, I thought why not taste the hot chocolate, because this is the only place I know that serves the chantilly cream. I don't know any other place in Bangalore that serves this kind of cream, and I thought why not do hot chocolate like the French and see how it tastes. So let's dive into this cup. Oh wow. The hot chocolate is not a very typical thick, rich, sinful one. This is very light. Again, I think that's the theme of all their dishes. So they replicate that even with the hot chocolate. I think the idea is to not stuff you up and make you feel like an overload of food. They want you to walk out of this place feeling good. And they do that beautifully even with the hot chocolate. It is smooth, it is light, it is rich with good chocolate. I can tell the quality of the chocolate is good, but that chantilly cream adds a whole other touch, a whole other creaminess to the hot chocolate. I guess that's what makes it a little rich, but because of the quality of the cream, it still doesn't feel heavy on the palate. Beautiful cup. Here's another savory dish at the French treaty. This one's a crowwich, which is a croissant sandwich. This one's got a filling with a couple of fresh ingredients like avocado, cherry tomatoes, spinach and mushroom. But a very good add-on to go on here is a sunny side up. That's the best form of eggs I like. And if you're a meat lover, then do try out their ham, chicken ham or bacon. The bacon one I know is amazing because Kunal loves that. So do try that out. And what I think is very signature French treaty, something that is very popularly, the place is popularly known for, is the croissant. The reason being, I'll be honest, this is the best croissant I've ever seen, eaten, felt. It's so beautiful. The layers are insane. I've never seen these many layers in a croissant. You can just see the size of this croissant. It is beautiful. And what also caught my attention was the glaze. I think it's a given that you do a good egg wash before you put it in the oven, but it never shows at the finished product stage in a lot of restaurants. But this one has a beautiful glaze that goes on top that makes it look insanely delicious. So yeah, you have to try this one out. It's again a highly recommended dish. There are sweet versions of the croissant, a dessert version. So there's a chocolate one that's topped off with some strawberries. But I like this one because in a dessert form, I think the chocolate sort of overpowers the taste of the croissant. But here you can really taste the layers of the pastry with the butter and feel the crunchiness of those layers. It's also very airy and got a good hollow space within the croissant, which is the way it's supposed to be. So it's perfect. That was a treat fest at the French Treaty, where Chef Shivroop brings some of the most delicious food to the table right from the heart of France. Lot of interesting ingredients that you have to try. Very light food, very tasty, one-of-a-kind experience here at the vibrant Jinvara. It's a beautiful morning and I can't help but tell you it's been an absolutely memorable experience. So do come to this place. Let us know what is your experience, tasting the food here. Thank you so much for watching and staying tuned with us till here. Take care. Bye.